So kursi tak keluar.
Kalau tak payah ni, ke situ.
Gaduh-gaduh tak sih.
Keluarkan.
Kepik-kepik. Ya, benar.
Saya 7 minit ni.
Silent phone. Ikut mana ni? Wow.
Dalam kita punya offer letter, we did mention minimum 10 years or graduation year, whichever is later kan? Kan?
Masuk sikit biar dulu. Masuk sikit biar dulu. Dia kena disturb kita sambung dulu.
Yang tu bos, yang let's say kita memang 10 years tu dah habis, kata nak sambung you kan, dia memang dah habis term dah 10 years tu, lepas dia sambung you 2 tahun, setelah memang bagi dia free lah. Then dia tak nak continue, masa katakanlah degree 4 years, dia baru buat 2 years, dia drop out. Dia kata dia nak keluar, dia tak nak continue with dia, mungkin dia sebab dia bawa ke apa ke, tak ada charge kan?
Ada charge.
Sebab
tu universiti tu kita tak finalize lagi. Sepatutnya kat universiti tu yang kita tak finalize lagi. I minta air tu lah, air botol tu.
Dah baca baik.
Air bawah.
Oh, air dia buat pergi 2 jam ni cakap kan.
Tak, saya ambil. Dah baca ayat.
Sambung kan. Dia curi kan ambil. Betul ni air ni yang cakap dulu. Biasa.
Cepat ni. Aku nak buat coding lah. Pergi cakap dengan Elmi cepat sikit. Apa lagi dia schedule lagi tu? 3 minit lagi. Dia tak nak rasa webinar. Dia supposed to be on time.
Pakai kamera ni dulu.
Dah nampak belum?
Ini baru jadi.
Cepatlah 3 minit ni.
First 5 minutes bagi orang join dulu test, bagi dia come up.
Okey, pergi sini nampak pula tu.
Ni dah habis lagi dah. Bos dah nak live. 3 minit, 2 minit lagi. Okey. Bawah yang apa lagi? Bos.
Ya, tapi tak apalah, dia boleh edit je masa tengah live ni. Tak apa, dia habis saya refresh je.
Kan? Email lagi satu. Okey dah.
Apa pergi konti dia apa?
USB belakang. Full lah. Apa tu?
Yang ini buat ni dia perlu ke? Tab-tab yang lain.
Tak perlu. Dia terus boleh present mode.
Tak ada yang kalau dia nak refresh ke apa ke nampak.
Habis ni kat sini?
Present situ.
Sini you buat edit terus lah.
Ini punya live.
Live kat situ.
Control studio ni. Studio. Belakang.
Tak, yang keluar dekat slide yang ni. Yang keluar dekat slide ni. Sebenarnya ke?
Yang tu je lah terus. Terus boleh lagi. Pusing.
Kamera ini kita nampak yang mana?
Ni nampak clear tadi.
Clear.
Tak nampak dekat yang tinggi ke?
Tak, yang kita nak buat dulu.
Ni lah.
Tak ada dulu. Kat sini. Screen dulu.
Belum, sekarang ni tak on action lagi. Masih dia orang masih nampak. Dah?
Audio dapat yang dua ni.
Dah. Ada audio dah mute dah. Ni.
Okey, dah. Voice dah okey belum?
Betul, di tengah-tengah.
Okey? Feedback okey? Okey tu.
Ada di tengah. Dah.
Dah okey dah. Alright. Okay. So kita tunggu kawan-kawan join dulu. Lagi 2 more minutes. So while we start our webinar, so topic of today, as per what you guys are registering for. Feedback okay? Okay. Mute lah. Mute. Just. Dah okay. Alright. Okay. So kita tunggu kawan-kawan join dulu. Lagi 2 more minutes. Dah off lah tu suara. So why nak present kalau ada suara kan? Start our no, just turn off the volume here. Okay? We good to live? 1 minute ni. 1 more minute. 1 more minute. 1 more minute. Pressure. Ni webinar kedua saya tapi mencabar juga nak set up ni. Tapi tak apa, nanti dah masuk yang ke 100 punya webinar, insyaAllah terror. 100 pun aku cerita tu kan. 100x. Apa yang pasang bunga kat sini? Okay. Kami live dekat office ni. Tak boleh buat kat rumah, lagi banyak distraction. Okay, we live. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Coach Fazil. Hari ni, today's topic is on parenting, how to raise or raising your child to be raising your superhero child and save the world. Okay, first we want to talk about the topic first. Why we choose the topic as superhero? Obviously, we were raised as when we were younger, and of course our children, they are exposed to a lot of superhero character. And what is the function of a superhero? Dalam cartoon, in the cartoon, what is the function of the superhero? Of course, save the world. Although it is a cartoon, but in Brainy Bunch, we always believe that our children is the best hope for us to provide an opportunity for us as the parents to be or to provide them the best so that they can be the best version of us, the one that we always dream. When we were smaller, we want to become superhero. So probably for us to become superhero is a bit difficult, but for your children, for our children, inshallah. And right, the issue with raising a children, I mean, it's like this is the issue of the parents. As I mentioned in the introduction video, the issue is when we got the children, it doesn't come with manual. Of course, there's a lot of books, there's a lot of courses and so on. But I know as the parents, we are too busy to attend or even to read too many books. I mean, there's so many guidance or parenting books. And I just want to highlight how I discovered this. I mean, been working with Brainy Bunch parents, our children, our teachers. We have more than, I think, based on our alumni numbers, including our existing students, we have about more than 12,000 students that we have worked with. But about a few months back, I have an interesting conversation with one of the son to my teacher, basically brother-in-law or sister-in-law or brother. So his son. So and then I asked him. So he just graduated. He's a good boy. Very good Islamic behavior and so on. Then I asked the question to him. So what is your plan after graduate? What is your life plan? In fact, that was the question that I asked. And he paused and he could not directly answer me. And it's a dream for all parents to raise a child who are so-called soleh. And I would consider this boy as a very good boy, But when he could not answer, and then after a few minutes, they say, I want to make my parents proud. I want to help my parents, sorry, that's the word. I want to help my parents. And then I said, but your parents is financially successful. What kind of help you want to help your parents? Then he stopped. And this is a challenge for parents who are able to raise a good child, but not able to provide them proper guidance for them to maximize their potential. Okay, just to reflect a bit on ourselves, our time, during our time, the parenting challenge is not as much as compared to what we face today. So what we face today is the issue, of course, the children, they have a lot of challenges with internet, social medias and so on. But we, most of us, we have that life hurdles. Like case myself, I was, living in not so much. I mean, in terms of the wealth of my family, so they don't have that much. And I was adopted and so on. So we have life hurdles that actually provide us the obstacles to face in our life, and that make us push ourselves to basically try to become better. But the goal is not that much. The goal is just, for most parents, is just to send us to university, and inshallah you become somebody. And it's true. But your children or our children of today, they were raised in a family that mostly are not having financial challenge, and this is where the problem is. They go to Toys R Us, they don't know what to buy anymore. Because if they don't buy, the parents buy. Because the parents could not get the toys when they were younger, then the parents buy for them, for their own parents, with the reason, oh, this is your birthday, I buy you this, and so on. Or if the parents don't buy, the grandparents buy. Right? And then the big, or we call it the critical missing piece, on parenting that most parents are lacking. So I summarize in the 5 mistakes that the parents do. So the first one that I think very common for most parents, because I ask a lot of parents on this, is not having the right goal, or not giving your child a right goal. Of course, some parents, they argue when I say that, oh, we are not going to decide what our children are going to be when they are just 5 years old. It's too young, and let them explore. And I want to use my board. Maybe the camera can follow me. So typically, what the parents do is, this is what we provide. We create a field. So the metaphor is to use the football field. So if Elmi, can you, if you look at my slide. So what we did is, we create the field, but we don't even provide them goalposts, or we don't train them, or we don't provide them a specific goal. So what we do is we provide the do's and the don't. We provide them the general rule. The general rule. Not sure whether you can see this, but this is what we do, right? Because we thought that we just give them the basic perimeter, and inshallah everything will be okay. But the challenge is, we provide them the perimeter or the general rules, and we do not provide them the goal, because there's no target. Just imagine tomorrow Malaysia versus Jordan. All our ultras in Brandy Bunch will go inshallah tomorrow. But imagine if we remove the goalposts. Can they win? How do we do? How do we raise our children without that? So basically, that's what most of parents do. And the whole purpose of providing a goal is a guidance. It's just like I always say this, in financial, in business, in anything in life, you need to set a specific goal, or what we call as a SMART goal. It must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be result oriented, and within a specific time frame. Alright? So mistake number 1 is not giving your child the right goal. And as I mentioned earlier, because we don't provide them the specific and true goals, so we miss the opportunity to maximize their true potential. You see, to win the World Cup, for instance, you need to have a guided goal. This is for footballer lah. But for your children, imagine every children. When I say every children with the parents with the right strategy, will be able to maximize their true potential. That's key. No exclusion, regardless of your current financial situation. It doesn't mean that you must go to Brainy Bunch only to achieve this goal. It's just that if you send to Brainy Bunch, it's much more easier lah, because you don't have to do a lot of things on your own, because the school will provide the avenue, will provide the environment, the support structure and so on. But even if you don't go to Brainy Bunch, you can still do it. But of course, you have to do a little bit more on the parenting side. Okay? So, and the mistake number 2, this is also the largest, I would say, the big mistake. Not able to connect your child or our child to society, or more like society problem. You know, we, you see, I like to, you have to see the slide because the creative Hilmi from our animation team, he did this slide, so beautiful slide. Can you see the slide? You see, we train our children to focus on themselves only. Even though the right way, even though we say, okay, you become solat, you do your doa and so on, but in a way like, Loki kan, he always think of himself, right? Of course lah, I don't say that you train yourself, your children to be like him, but in a way that's what we become. The problem of the ummah today is everyone think about themselves only. And this is a contribution from the parenting. Or, okay, it's simple. It's either you do or you don't do, something is done. You understand or not? Whether you do or you don't do, you say, my parent doesn't teach me that way. So if you don't do, something is done as well. If you do, something is done. It's just that whether you do positive or you do negative or you don't do, mostly it become negative if the environment promote that. If everyone in the environment are talking about individual development only, you should think of yourself, take care of yourself. Go to Jannah. You cannot go to Jannah alone. Tak ada orang masuk. You can enter Jannah alone, but you cannot work towards Jannah alone because you need a lot of assistance. So the problem with this is the children only aim for their individual or personal goal only. So this is a challenge. So mistake number 2. So we know the fact that there's so many issues in the societies. We have poverty. We have 600. I always talk about this. 640 million people do not have shelter. Why can't we connect our children to them? I talked to Zara. I show Zara, my daughter. She's 5 years old this year. And I show her the picture of the child in Yemen. The malnutrition, they don't have enough food and so on. A lot of children are dying. I talked to them, 29,000 children die every day before 5 years old, before turning 5 years old. My children, some of them with Brainy Bunch High School students, 8 of them went to Sabah, visited the alternative school for the stateless children, and then met a family who have a child who are not even 5 years old, died because do not have access to medical aid. That's in Sabah, that's in Malaysia. That's part of the statistic of the 29,000 children who die every day. And I spoke to Zara. Zara is 5 years old. Then I told her, Zara, that's why we have to help them. Do you want to help them? She's 5 years old. She understands. Yes, I want to help. I spoke to Iman 7 years old. And of course, the older children, of course, they understand. So if you start talking to your children about all the society problem, they don't have other hurdles in their personal life, but they're going to start making, or they're going to start thinking about this big problem as their responsibility. So mistake number 2 is not able or fail to connect the children to society. So we become individualistic. So we need to fix this. And mistake number 3 is we don't train. It's not like, we know that we always wanted to say to our children, okay, I want you to make me happy. But how do we explain? How do you make you happy? Okay, are we happy when they score good grades in exam? Or maybe we do. But is it the focus? Oh, when they are able to read, I'm so happy. But it is a temporary happiness. Whatever that they can achieve in that short period of time or when they were younger, it is a temporary happiness. We need to train our children that I want you to make me happy by giving or helping daddy and mommy to go to Jannah. Because that is where we attain the ultimate happiness. As the boy, the one that I mentioned earlier, okay, so if your goal is to make your parents happy because he want to help the parents because he thought that by doing so, the parent will be happy. Say, of course, parent will be happy when the child help them, but we have to explain to them that the ultimate goal is to enter Jannah. And we want the children, we should be teaching them to become our asset to Jannah. Of course, later I explain on how. Alright, so because the children, they don't know, they really try to make us happy because that's like the basic lah. Like my children, they know if they don't solat or they solat lah normally, you know lah, you have to do the face, do the sound, do the screaming sometimes lah, occasionally. They know that if they solat, daddy will be happy. If they don't solat, daddy will be angry. So very simple, right? So we need to teach our children, and I've asked my children to also watch this webinar. I say, and of course, for all my children, remember, the only way for you to make me happy is to become daddy and mommy greatest asset to go to Jannah. How to do that? Of course, we will explain in the next content. And of course, we need to let them understand, what is the asset to Jannah and so on. So, which I think most of us know lah. We want the children to become or to provide us the doa when we die. Doa from a pious child. So, doa from a pious child, it's not just a doa when we die. We have to train them. That's what we do in Brainy Bunch. We teach them on daily basis, even at the kindergarten, to teach them to make doa for their parents. Right? So, insyaAllah. Okay, so number 4, and I mean, obviously, before number 4, the ultimate happiness for us is when we see our children are performing their duties to help and solve the world problem, and by doing so, fulfilling the commandment of Allah. Of course, the basic commandments, solat and so on. If you stay in the Brainy Bunch community or you send your children to Brainy Bunch, insyaAllah, I think based on our alumni feedback, our children, insyaAllah, that part is not that difficult. Of course, if you are not sending to Brainy Bunch, you send to other school, you have to be careful whether or not they are promoting that, right? And because the number 4, this is also the biggest issue, still the biggest issue in Malaysia. Still, the statistic data still say that 80% Muslim do not solat. And even for Brainy Bunch parents, I want to remind you, if you send their children to kindergarten, and after that they go to kebangsaan school, they go to other school that doesn't provide the opportunity for them to pray in jama'ah during the Zuhur, during the Asar, be careful. Be careful. Remember, the the environment is very, very key, whether or not they take solat as important or not. Tomorrow we have the football game against Jordan. You're going to see during Maghrib, hopefully lah, we make doa that everyone will come and pray lah. Or else we will promote lah. I think we should promote tomorrow. We bring something to promote Ta'muruna bil Ma'ruf. Let's bring everyone to make sure that Maghrib period, Maghrib prayer, everyone will come and solat together, insyaAllah. Make doa. Alright. So because if solat are not able to be cultivated, this is the issue. We cultivate fasting, we don't cultivate solat. But I think I don't want to dwell about this topic, you know already. I think most parents who are watching us, they don't have that problem. I'm talking about the general parents because I think solat is quite known lah. Everybody are emphasizing solat already. Alright, so but of course in this regards to solat, we know that Allah mentioned in the Quran in Surah Al-Mu'minun, قَدْ أَفْلَهَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِئُونَ. Those who took SPM, this is one of the surah that you have to memorize, 1 to 11. And to get khusyuk in solat, it's not just memorizing, it's not just understanding, but it is the effect of whatever that they do outside solat. Although for commoners like us, we may not be able to get solat, khusyuk in solat all the time, but we should be aiming towards that. Alright? And of course, the number 5, where Allah mentioned in the Quran, in Surah Ali Imran, verse 110. Kuntum khaira ummatin ukhrijat linnas ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhauna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. So Allah mentioned very clear, in Quran Allah mentioned that we are the best of creation, but there is a condition to it. Ta'muruna bil ma'ruf. So how do we do this? How do we teach, or do we teach our children to call people to do good deeds? This is where, if we don't connect them to society, or we don't connect them to people surrounding them by teaching them to do the ta'muruna bil ma'ruf when they were younger. And it's not that difficult, but somehow in parenting we don't do. In school, some school do. Of course, Brainy Bunch, we do that lah. We teach that in our daily basis, on our daily basis. But if we don't do that, then they don't have the reason to do when they were younger, when they were older. Of course, watanhauna anil munkar can we teach. I spoke to Zara, I spoke to Iman. Of course, it's more prevalent when they are in primary school, right? In kindergarten, they still have some issues. I mean, but lesser lah. You go to kindergarten, primary school, they will start to have more of alone time with their friends, because in kindergarten they are always mostly with the aunties. So okay lah. So I teach them, when someone quarrel, stop them. And of course they learn the hadith, la taghdab walakal jannah. Don't be angry. Allah will grant you jannah. So of course our Brainy Bunch children, they are trained that way. So we need to train them. I mean, obviously for parents, we need to set the goal of this, because we want to be included as per what Allah mentioned in the Quran, as per what Allah mentioned as the best of ummah. And how do we do that? So of course we have to train. So the mistake parenting number 5 is we don't train our children, but you guys can do this. Now you know this already. But is it enough? Not yet. Right? So of course the simple thing, like simple act, invite everyone to solat. Let's solat together. Let's have my teachers. Let's have mommy at home. So this is all like you have siblings. Oh, go call your brothers. Tell them about ta'muruna bil ma'ruf, meaning we invite them to do good things. Alright? So pick up rubbish, give sadaqah. Of course, in Brainy Bunch we have the Sadaqah Friday. The Sadaqah Friday, we should tell them. I mean, we as the parents teach them that. I have a very interesting feedback. One of our parents shared me the story of the child. The child is a special child. Of course, the child is in high school. But this is the first time that the child was allowed to go out with their friends to go watch movie. And then suddenly, and then the child came back and then said that, mommy, just now, the mom asked lah, so what do you do? I went to watch movie, and then after that I went to pray Maghrib, and then after that when I go out, I saw a man who asked for money for sadaqah, and I gave him 10 ringgit. Okay, and remember, this child is a special child. Of course, he have improved so much lah after many years in Brainy Bunch. But then he gave 10 ringgit. And then the mom was like so surprised and, like teary already. Like, my son gives sedekah without nobody asking him to do. And then he said, yes, mommy, just like when we do the Sedekah Friday. Remember? We just started Sedekah Friday like a few months back. But he connect to whatever that we do in the school. So they took the culture of giving sedekah to that person. And he gave 10 ringgit, not 1 ringgit. Sedekah Friday, we just asked them to give 1 ringgit. Meaning, it really comes from the pure intention. So this is key. The second part, the ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhauna 'anil munkar. So what we do is to stop the evil deed. So it's a very beautiful picture. Your police, so if you see people cursing, stop them. If you see people fighting, stop them. If you see people backbiting, stop them. So that's also wa tanhauna 'anil munkar, stop them. Of course, in the simplest way, right? And of course, wa tu'minuna billah, we know this is the training to have faith in Allah, the solat and all the normal ibadah that we teach them. Inshallah, that one is to be continued. Okay. Now, generally you understand that's the common mistake. Of course, I'm not. I think my team said that I have to speak for 2 hours. No. I know the parents are super busy, and I don't want to drag too long. But I'm gonna give you today a very simple strategy, a very simple model that I've taught my children, I think it's the easiest for you to just take, but of course you can improvise. Doesn't mean that my formula or my solution is the best one. But if you don't have any, just take lah and then improvise or customize. All right. So the first, obviously, because you don't give them gold, you have to give them gold lah. So you have to, yeah. So what you have to do is, you still have to do the do and don'ts. Yeah. So you have to create the perimeter, and we have to create the perimeter. So you have to create the goalpost. Imagine, what is the goalpost? Goalpost is the guidance on where to score. Okay, so this is the KPI or the key performance indicator. So you need to have that. You need to have assessment. All right. So whether or not your children are going towards the right direction. Like for instance, if you're driving to Pulau Pinang, so you need to show to along the way you have to check the GPS location. Are we driving towards Pulau Pinang or we going to Johor? Right. So you have to have the goalpost. You have to have the scoreboard. You have to keep the score. All right. Of course, I'm using metaphor so that it's easier. Just so happen that tomorrow is our ultra time, so it's easier for you to connect. And obviously, you have to set the goal, or I call as the SMART goal. All right. What is SMART goal? It must be specific, measurable, achievable, result oriented within the time frame. Okay. So a simple explanation, so I draw you the football field already. So we set this goal. Okay, what kind of goal that you can set? I'll give you the simplified one, but you need to keep track. And when you keep track, you need to praise your children. So you need to start giving them that goal. Later we show you on what types of goal that you can do. For my children, I've set that already. And this is nothing to do with their talent. This is nothing to do with the abilities. This is nothing to do with what they're gonna be in profession, or whether they become businessman, medical, whatever. Nothing to do with that. This is the life purpose that Allah has set for the Muslim is already preset. What we need to do, and so the second part is, of course, I mentioned about the SMART goal. The second part is connect the children and the heart and mind. So I have to switch this camera. All right. You need to connect them with the society problem. And so you need to connect them to the society problem. You see, you have to talk to them about the 29,000 children. Okay, if they are younger, they are still young, like below 6 years old, start showing them. In Brainy Punch, we do that all the time. We do that all the time. We involve the children. We used to have our Brainy Walk. Every year we choose a team or a country that we wanted to support, and then after that we launch our Zero Hunger. We show them how poor people, in fact, like Zero Hunger, when we deliver the food, we bring our students, they saw people who are living in the poor condition and so on. So we need to show them this, and of course the goal that you need to specify is, because we say that the best of you are the one that benefit others. Not we say, Allah, the Prophet said. So, but now benefit others, benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 1,000, benefit 1 million. What kind of numbers that you want your children to be able to benefit themselves too? So for us, so we have like the normal Muslim, minimum at least 1 or 2 or 10, or the super Muslim who gonna go for 1 million or 100,000 and so on. So, but for parents, my suggestion is for you to just choose the simple one first. Right? So at least within, when they are younger, of course, focus on their friends, their families and so on, but still connect them to the society problem, which we're going to turn into an action even for children as young as 4 years old or 5 years old. Of course, 2 and 3, they are too young for you to explain that lah. It's too much for them to handle. Alright? So connect them, the children's heart and mind, to primarily or to focus on helping the society. Right? And the third one is make them understand what makes you happy. So that's the timeline for the 4 to 6 years old. Of course, in Brainy Bunch, we focus on the development of adab, the development of akhlaq, and we try to impose values, and obviously the life skill, the communication. For next year, we are focusing on the Quranic recitation. So we just had a program with Sheikh Imran. So he have given me a very important target that we are changing the entire curriculum on Quranic reading. We never promise parents on Quranic reading. We only promise on the English, on other stuff, on the Solat, but not the Quranic. But we are taking the responsibility to assure parents before they graduate from kindergarten, they must be able to recite Quran. So we are doing some changes to the program. Inshallah for 2020, your children, when they graduate from Bani Bunch, start from 2020 onwards, in kindergarten, they will be able to recite Quran. So at 7, when they reach 7 to 10, Sheikh Imran give us a very specific guidance, is to ensure that children can recite any part of the word in Quran, and by the time they reach age 10 onwards, until they die, they will or they must recite Quran cover to cover every month. And inshallah for Braniban, we're going to start, we for HQ team, we are starting next week on Tuesday, but we're going to impose this to our children who are in the primary school and high school. But for those who are not going to Braniban, don't worry, you can take this formula and use it. Of course, this is the general parameter, general target for you to do. And obviously talk to them about Jannah. It's important for you to talk about Jannah, especially when your children are 4 years, 5 years old, because their understanding is so pure that they will ask you, Daddy, can I go to Jannah? Later when I go to Jannah, I want to ask Allah, I want to enter the television. That's Iman lah. Iman always the television. I want to go inside the television. I want to be the cartoon. Can I do that, Daddy? Because she know the fact that I always talk to her that Allah is powerful. Allah is superpower. Allah can do anything. Allah just say kun fayakun and it happen. Then I said to her, go and ask whatever you want from Allah when you are in Jannah. But to go to Jannah, this is what you have to do. You have to be good, you have to solat, you have to do this. So we have to help people. Always talk to them about the society. Okay. As I explained just now, I explained earlier, when we don't have problem, see, our children, they don't have problem. When I say they don't have challenge or not much challenge, because financially they are not facing that challenge. So they say the journey is very long, right? If they were to be the best, you need to create the hurdles. Currently they don't have the hurdles. They don't have financial hurdles, and the parents always become the savior. Oh, don't worry, everything, Daddy will be here. But when you change their goal, if you change their goal is to do something big in their life, like solving the world problem or solving the poverty or helping the society, then they will in a way create the hurdle for themselves. Because for them to do that, they have to go out from their comfort zone. Of course, not when they were small. 5 years old is where you educate. But when you bigger, like my son Danish, Sarah, I've given that even for them, say, because you are my children, you have to, if other children have to be one house, we have to be 100 house before 17. But don't worry, Daddy will support you. It's not just I'm giving you numbers and then I leave you alone. No. For our children, inshallah, next year onwards, all high school children, they're going to be given that a goal for them to build a house and donate the house to the poor, so that they can help and solve the problem of the society, right? So going back to the goal of explaining or making them understand that what is going to make the parents happy, and of course the number 4 is the guide to explain to them the importance of Salat. We have to talk to our children. With regards to Salat, where Salat is the first deed Allah will ask us in the day of judgment. If we fail to answer the Salat part, it's like we have like 1,000 questions. First question is Salat. First thing was Salat, kaput. Like the 80% Muslim do not Salat 5 times a day, right? So kaput. How to become asset to Jannah? Asset to neraka? Probably. But it's not asset to neraka lah, because whatever your deeds of the children, if they do right, they potentially can help you. But if they do wrong, they may not affect you. Right? So we know about the statistic and so on, but our job is to tell our children to encourage their friends, circle to become the circle of influence for them to have to provide the BR, the environment that people who wanted to perform solat. Of course, in Bani Bunch we do that. Rauda City, that is the whole purpose. Our Malakat Mall is going to provide that as the main delivery to create a BR that everybody we solat, insyaAllah. Alright, and of course the number 5, to instill the ta'murun nabi ma'ruf, amma ma'ruf nahi munkar. So meaning we have to start training them, so we can do like videos on social media, on Facebook or Instagram, whatever lah the medium, of course when they are a bit older, where you teach them to preach people to do good, or to call people to do good. You know, I want to share you a story. When I was taking care of my father, my late father, which is in HKL, and at that time I was visited by a priest who go bed to bed pitching and preaching about Christianity. And I've not seen at that time. Now of course I know a lot of ustaz currently already do that, but this is not a function of the ustaz alone. It is function of our ummah. I mean, we cannot just blame the Christian father who do that because he believe in whatever that he do. But what about us? Of course I was angry at that time. Why you can't approach me? I'm a Muslim. Oh yeah, even though you are Muslim, I can still preach and explain about Jesus to you. So I know that this is sensitive issues, but for us, it's not acceptable. But it's more not acceptable when we don't train our children to do that. So we have to start training. You see, somehow we outsource this amma ma'ruf nahi munkar to the ustaz. We outsource. You know, so as if that our children doesn't have to learn that. Oh, this is fardu kifayah. So fardu kifayah is not us. We just get someone else to do. So this is a mistake that we have to train our children from now on. Every children, especially who go to Bani Bunch, they need to become the ambassador to Islam. If you are watching this video, I believe that you love your children. You want your children to become an asset for you to Jannah. You want them to attain success in this world and hereafter. You have to start teaching them to preach others to do good from now on. Regardless of whatever their age, especially when they are already matured enough. When they baligh, is already almost compulsory. Because if you don't do that, then they don't have the right upbringing. They don't have the right practice or discipline. Because when they become adult, it's too late already. They are too busy with their family, just like us. Too busy, right? To do anything, who not come to school briefing. Too busy with a lot of other things. Now, if shopping time is okay, no problem. Traveling time, 4 a.m. go to airport, no problem. Because the flight is cheaper, we go, no problem. 2 a.m. no problem. Parenting, we don't have time. Education children, sometimes, most of the time we don't have time. I'm not blaming, I'm saying that is the situation. But we need to fix this. Right, so the simple goal is for us to give them this goal. So this is what I'm suggesting for today's session. I'm giving you a very simple goal. Talk to your children that we want to have and solve the world problem. The 600 million, over million that doesn't have the house, the 450 million who doesn't have access to clean water, the 270 million who doesn't have access to medical aid, the 29,000 children that die every day before turning 5 years old. So how to solve this? By providing them a sustainable home. Or at least that's my suggestion to you. Okay, by giving a sustainable home, which we have built in our school, alhamdulillah, 90% there. To make the sustainable, we put like solar panel, insyaAllah. We're going to put the garden to farm. Of course, you can do your own version, but don't have to think much. We are building the cheapest house in the world using recycled pellet. So for next year onwards, we have about almost 800 students. But for high school students, we want them to, before they graduate, they will contribute one house. We're going to teach them, we're going to provide them opportunity. But for you now, parents, okay, because some of you or majority of you, your children are still young, are still small. So what you do is you start to have these two tabung. Okay, these two fund. And So one is the donation for them to invest in this world, and the second part is to build that sustainable home. Just visualize that your children, whenever they get duit raya or whatever lah, the allowance whatever, okay, don't forget put your RM1 into this tabung. If it take them 17 years or 10 years, doesn't matter. Of course, you can also have, you can make it as a family project, family target, that you give away a home. How many of you want to do that? How many of you want to provide a free home for the poor? Because some of you may think, but that's my money. How do I give it away? If it costs you about 30, 40,000, maximum 50,000 lah. It's just a lot of money. Why you worry? The formula is, you teach your children, they get to see that they donate a home for the poor. And inshallah, when they become much more older, or even before they become older, they probably will be able to do more. Right? So we have the story like Bill Gates, we have the story like Akon, we have the story of Oprah Winfrey. Who's the Philippine boxer? I always forget
Manny
him.
Pacquiao.
The Manny Pacquiao. Kan? He built like 1,000 houses for the poor. Although we are live, but we are not television, so we are allowed to have intervention. So, Piyu Taha, remind me the name. So we have like many people watching me live here in the office. I don't know why they don't want to go back home. But anyway, like Manny Pacquiao built 1,000 houses for the poor, and he is Filipino, not Muslim. What about us? I personally, out of 600 million, my target is 1 million. And that 1 million, of course, I don't build that alone, with you lah. Every one of you, like Brainy Bunch, all the Brainy Bunch students that we have now, about 800 this year. If all 800 international school students build one house, it's already 800 houses. So given time, inshallah, we will be able to build 1 million house. And this, when we start teaching our children, having this goal, you imagine the kind of discussion that you have at home, the kind of topics that you have, the encouragement for them to be the best in the school, not so much on the academic. Of course, academic will be automatically there, but now they started to think big. They started to connect with the society. When they see poor people, they are not just having sympathy, but you get to develop empathy. So this I want to talk to you. Is it the challenge for today is to build this GRIT. Can you see? GRIT, grit. And grit. So what is grit? So grit is where we prepare your children an internal stamina to work over the long term. And this can only be built when you have hurdles in your life, when you have challenge, when you raise the standard. The standard is not just to get them to go to university, but the standard is how many poor home or poor people that you can provide free house, for instance. And if you don't do that, if you are not able to do that, of course, not able because they have tried, that's different thing. But if you're not even working towards that, then how do we raise a superhero? But because a superhero, the goal is to save the world. How to save the world? Not just like flying here, fighting with dinosaur. No, because the real of saving human or saving the world is by providing the solution to those who are really in need. That is the key. Alright? So what I'm going to do is I promise to you that we're going to give you a simple template. We have your email, so immediately I'm going to get my team to send you the email. It's just one page template. You can download and you can print out the template and put the specific goal that you want to have for your children. Remember, those who fail to plan to fail. If I ask the question, I know how many of you have a written plan for their children. So I know majority of you did not have a written plan because there's no goal. I just want them to be soleh. I just want to be good. I mean, there's a definition. There must be specific. They must be measurable. So I've created the template. But for today, I just want to talk to you about the minimum to start with. Of course, the basic parameters: solat, memorizing Quran, reciting Quran. Possess a good adab and so on. So it's given. We know that everyone are working on that. But if you don't provide them a bigger goal for them to work on, then they will not be your superhero. They will not be a superhero child. obviously they won't be able to save the world. So inshallah, that's part. And of course, by giving the house, we know that we're gonna solve the problem of the 640 million who doesn't have shelter. The water issue, the clean water issue will be solved as well. We will solve the hunger because we can provide them sustainable home with the garden to table. And and you know, this will provide the very huge impact to your children and also you, because before this maybe never did, not many of us thought about this. I was invited to be Maybank speakers for the SMEs, and this is my second year, and I've asked every session I go, I will ask them, do you have poor people here? How many of you want to solve poverty in your area? How many of you want to build houses for the poor? So not many raise the hand, but after I ask the question, everybody, oh, never thought that way. We were waiting for JKM. We were waiting for the government. You know, so this question, of course, as a Muslim, as a believer, you know, a lot of us, you know, we fail to see the priority. We go and focus on our personal ibadah. We go to Haji, we go to Umrah every year during Ramadan, but we don't have the poor here. We have probably neighbors or our kampung friends who are not having enough sustenance to live, but we don't know about them. We forget. We go and donate somewhere else, but we forgot about the people that we're supposed to help the most. So this is all will be overcome, inshallah, when we raise our children to do this. Alright, so we're going to provide you the template, inshallah. We're going to email to you. So the last session of my topic, obviously the best offer that we're going to offer to you, a part of the template that one given, but to every one of you, just to announce that Brainy Bunch have launched our 2020 registration campaign. So I'm just sharing you the bonus that we gave. The first bonus is we give you the lock fees period for 2 years, but for those who watch this video and share to others, I'm going to give you 3 years lock period. So we're going to extend, instead of 2 years, you're going to get 3 years lock period. The second is you're going to get like 70% discount on our Belum Adventure Camp. And the third one is you're going to have your child's life plan. Okay, just now that I gave you, just because we don't have much time, we cannot speak for 2 hours, later you get bored. But we're going to have a workshop on to design your children's life plan, which is more than just building a house for your children. And obviously for all Brainy Bunch alumni, if you graduate from either kindergarten or you graduate in the high school, you're gonna get the free lifetime coach. Coach obviously lah, not from Coach Fazil alone. Today I'm the coach lah, but I'm also building our internal coach. We have a lot of spiritual coach, we have physical coach, we have a lot of coaches in Brainy Bunch, inshallah. And for Brainy Bunch, we're gonna provide them a lifetime coaching access for free. This is for our alumni, right? And when your child turn 12 years old, we're going to provide them a free. This is for those who register during this promotion period. We're going to provide them a free Quran Dream program, and when they reach 12 years old. So meaning they have to come and study with us. The content curriculum are based off Ustaz Noman Ali Khan, inshallah. And so we're going to give this for free when they turn 12. Why only 12, coach? Because that's what the guidance given to us by Ustaz Noman. When they are 12, they can take the content already. So the content will enable them to understand Quran. Okay, so of course not to do they will not be able to become ulama, but whatever word in the Quran when they read, they will understand the meaning of the Quran. Alright, they cannot do tafsir lah. They cannot do tafsir yet, right? And then when they graduate from high school, okay, so we're gonna provide them 50% scholarship for our Raudah University. Of course, it's a new process that we are, inshallah, in the process of setting up our own university. And even for those who did not go to our own university, we're gonna provide them guaranteed placement. I know some parents say, coach, you are talking about long way future. What will happen if you're not around? Like the free education, parents ask me, what will happen if you die? Whatever that Brainy Bunch offer is Brainy Bunch offer to the community. Brainy Bunch is not just Coach Fazil. Of course, I'm the founder, But inshallah, if I die, someone else, my children will continue my legacy, inshallah, or my work. But not just my children, my team. It's not just big. We have 1,200 staff today. Alhamdulillah, we have grown because of your support. So inshallah, even if, of course, I make dua that I still live lah kan. Don't let me dua for me to die. Alright. And lifetime Brainy Bunch alumni bonus. So we have the lifetime coaching, spiritual, physical, business, access to business funding. We're gonna have special apps for them to help themselves so that we can help them, and access to continuous online education platform. So why we are doing all this? Why a kindergarten offer all this sort of offer? So you must understand, when I started Brainy Bunch and the project of Brainy Bunch, it is not for us to make a short-term gain of money, but rather we see it as an opportunity to build the new generation that have a strategic plan to help each other in the community to attain true success in this world. As per our school motto, success in both worlds. We are talking about providing basic income. If you heard of Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Elon Musk, so he talk about basic income. He talk about the future are moving towards that direction. So we are trying to build an ecosystem that we can provide the basic income. We can provide the basic minimal or passive income. Yesterday, I think one of my most popular posts in all my posting, get the most shared, the most likable, when I say, how many of you want to learn to create a passive income monthly, 50,000 ringgit a month? Is it possible? Yes. It's a very simple formula. It's not that difficult. Of course, you need to learn how to build from where you are today. You don't have that 4 million investment. You don't have 1 million. I don't even have 10,000, coach. How do I build? So you have to learn on how to build, right? Just now, I had a session with one of the parents who came for an advice. So he have, both husband work in GSCs. Financially, they are okay. But somehow, they don't have the means to help their parents or their families. And they feel like, I have a PhD, my salary is not bad, but I could not help my parents because I'm stuck with this property investment and so on. And I show him how to flip, how to maximize from your real estate development properties. So this is the knowledge that most of you have to learn in other courses. But becoming Brainy Bunch parents is free. I teach you for free. I coach you for free. For what? Because I want you to be better, stronger for your children, and stronger for the family, for the ummah, for the community. Because your children, no matter how good they are, cannot marry your own children. I'm choosing my potential in-laws ni. In-laws pula silap. Potential in-laws of my children. Not for me, not for me. I'm done. Salah cakap bahaya ni. Right? So what I'm saying is, if you love your children, you wanna take care of the community, because your children is going to get married in the community that love each other, that help each other. So this is among the offer that we offer to our parents, and to either new parents or existing parents. So take the offer. You just have to go to brainybunch.com and register online. So during this period, we're going to capture in our system and provide you not 2 years but 3 years locking fees, and then of course we give you like with enrollment fees. You also, of course, obviously as Brainy Bunch parents, you have access to me to learn on either you are running business, if you don't want business but you want to learn how to make passive income and so on. So wait for my next announcement, inshallah. I hope that you enjoy the session. I hope the most important is the action. Whatever I say, whatever the thoughts that I try to provoke and so on, is only for you to get that charm motivation for you to be able to act. But if you fail to act, at least if Allah asks me, I have delivered my part to ta'muru nabil ma'ruf to you, and hopefully, but I do hope, and those who watch this video, let's be together to be the superhero parents, the 100x parents. Why 100x? Those who work to solve the world problem, the society problem, that's the 100x community. Either in business, either in parenting, either in the education. You are the 100x community, not the 10x. 10x is those who focus on their personal or individual goal only. Right? So inshallah, Coach Fazil, I'm going to work with you. I'm dedicating my entire life, my entire family to assist this ummah. Alhamdulillah, this morning I was so happy that we met Datuk Nazim Johan, the President of Persatuan Pengguna Islam Malaysia. So we're going to work together to build the ecosystem. When I say ecosystem, is from the raw material up to the retail outlet. Tomorrow make dua. Today is already Friday kan? Technically it's Friday. So make dua that we can, or we are able to close our Malakat Mall discussion with Setia Haruman. Make dua that we are able to do that. Because it's very critical for us, insyaAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless every one of you who watch this webinar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all the dua that you make for your children, and may Allah allow and enable every one of us to be part of the group that work together to help each other, because we love each other, to attain success in this world, so that we can use the success to help and solve the world problem. And at the same time, we hope that Allah accepted our deeds. By attending this course, I hope that Allah regards it as one of the deeds for Allah to consider, to grant us the blessing, to provide us the best of this world, so that insyaAllah we can use it to attain success in the hereafter. Remember, Allah is monitoring, Allah is evaluating ahsanu amala, the best deeds. The best deeds must come from many deeds. And from the many deeds that we do, then Allah will probably, this one, I love it. Alright, go to Jannah. And insyaAllah, doesn't have to go through all the questions, it's too good already, go to Jannah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant every one of us. And so happen, if you are in Jannah and you don't see Coach Fazil, please go and ask Allah. My full name is Muhammad Fazil Hashim. But if you ask Allah, Coach Fazil, I'm sure he knows. So he have more updated knowledge than us. So don't worry about that. But if you don't see me in Jannah, please ask Allah. Jazakallah khair. I love every one of you for the sake of Allah. Let's spread this good information, simple. But we're going to come with many more parenting tips and parenting ideas simplified for busy parents like you. Jazakallah khair. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Thank you.